Touch the button there. So as it's opened up here, you'll see that it's got this sort of dual touchscreen system. So this side here is touchscreen, this side is simply just your instrument cluster. It will tell you everything that you might need to know about the car as it's moving. So things like your charging status, your speeds, you know, the efficiencies of the car. But when you switch it on, it will come with this menu here, and you've got various different profiles that you can go into. So as it sits, it's as a guest. However, you can have this set to whichever driver is going to be using it. Again, just to navigate it, it's always just pressing this top home button on the corner here. On this sort of the screen here, we've got various different options. So we've got things like an EV. This here, you know, sort of runs us through the efficiencies of the car. It's going to be able to tell us, you know, how far it's going to get, where you might
depend of the mode, yeah, I would say. Yeah.
Entirely, yeah. So eco is always going to be your most efficient. So this here gives you a more sort of concise breakdown of what kind of range your car's going to achieve. So right now it suggests, you know,
it's quite good. It's 68 only, I will say, and quite
121. It's not too bad actually. It's not too bad.
It's huge range, I would say. What size the battery is here? Over 70?
So this current model here, which is the My 22 model, so this is relevant to orders made between 2021 to, well, about 2 months ago. It's 73 kilowatts.
Okay.
Whereas for the My 23s, you're looking at 77. So you're getting, you know, an extra maybe 10 miles worth of range out of it.
And electric is always something, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even 5 miles. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does make a difference. Yeah. It absolutely does make a difference. We've also got this button here, because this is our has the tech pack included on it. It means that it's got this vehicle to load system. So this is the system that the Ioniq 5 uses to be able to, you know, run other appliances, domestic appliances, for example, that run from 3-pin sockets through the car. So I don't know if you've seen various different videos on it, but one particular reviewer, they used a hedge trimmer that they plugged into the car and ran it through this vehicle to load, and they could cut hedges using the battery in this car. Quite a clever system.
It's the same like in EV6 Kia.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're both based on the same platform. Hyundai and Kia, much of what they share is, you know, their own intellectual property.
This one is like a little bit more futuristic.
You think so?
Like, yeah, it's just like from this car with the old pixels, you know.
Oh,
it looks like for me like the car from the movie 1990 from the future.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it keeps it sort of consistent across the insides here. So things like your interior, it's got this pixel design that they've carried through. Now this is just on the Ultimate, right off on the Premium, the SE Connects. You won't get this sort of styling here, but it's good nonetheless. I think it's a good wee sort of finishing point for it. So if we go back to here, we can also run maps, you know, at the same time as you run.
Also, we can see the map on the front screen or only here?
You can see directions on this screen here.
Direction, okay.
If I was to do this here, well, it shows a compass just now. If I was to type in a destination using this map, so I can reach the maps pressing this button here, or I could go through the touch screen, whichever you prefer. If I go to map here, I'll look up how to get to, let's say, Glasgow, yeah. Glasgow Airport.
Yeah, airport. It's working quick, yeah.
Set as destination. It will show me on this thing here, you know, what the next turning point would be. Because we're parked in the car park at the moment,
that's right.
It's not going to know it, but you will have it. You've also got this heads-up display unit here that when you switch the car on to drive, it will also give you directions if you need it on that heads-up. But again, it gives you your sort of next manoeuvre on that screen there.
Starting route guidance.
So it'll show you there, and then I can flick up and it tells me what my next manoeuvre is to effectively turn out this road here, for example, and drive on. So when you're on the road, it'll be a wee bit more interactive. Now, again, you can reach your maps through here or through the buttons down here, and navigation is much the same. It's simply just a menu that you can pick destinations from instead of picking it from a map. Things with your phone, again, once you've got your Bluetooth all linked up, you can access, you know, your calls, your messages, that kind of thing. That would be your phone projection though. So when you plug it in, you hit the phone projection menu and it'll take you to your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto. You've also got a voice memo function in here, which, to be frank with you, I've never used, but it's a nice wee feature if you do happen to be someone that likes to take notes as you move. You know, you make a phone call and you like to be able to keep a record of what you've said, you know, immediately after the call. So it's a helpful feature if that's something that, you know, you prioritise. Things like climate, you can access through here. So again, I'm not altogether a big fan of having to set my climate controls through a screen. That's why we've got all this here. But say for example,
it's only touch, yeah? Yeah, touch.
Yeah, so haptic touch. So again, it's not buttons, but it's haptic, if you understand me. So with these things here, you can run your heated seats through it, your ventilated seats through it too, and you can control the temperature here. Do that by pressing that there. If you wanted to turn on your heated seats, you do it through that menu there. So you can make it cooler while making that other one hotter. And
if it's not on the summary.
Next thing would be the radio, which again, again, if you want to access your station list, you can use your DAB, your FMs. It's a simple matter of hitting the list and then scrolling through your options. You can also set favourites, so that if, for example, you wanted to you use several different stations like we have here, you basically hit the star button there, it will save it. Again, with your media, you get various different things here. So your DAB, your FMs, your AMs, but also you can play your music through your Bluetooth audio, your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, your USBs and all the rest. Another sort of interesting feature that Hyundai have is they have the sounds of nature. So if you fancy it, you can listen to a forest as you drive.
I knew that from the EV6.
Again, that's your heating and ventilation. Valet mode. So likewise with the EV6, you've got a valet mode in it. So effectively what this does is it allows for you, once you've had your phone connected and all the rest, to, when you hand your keys over to someone else to drive the car, to park the car, to wash it, whatever reason you might hand your keys over to someone, you put it into valet mode. It means that they can't see your call history, they can't see who you've been speaking to, what kind of contacts you have on your phone. It's quite a useful thing if you quite like your privacy. And again, you do have a separate page here as well. So you've got quiet mode, so effectively you can have, you know, reduced volume for the radio in the front and off completely in the back. It means that whoever's sitting in the back, they've got a quieter environment. So I'll show you here. That's an effective breakdown of what it does there for you. You've also got your blue link here, and your Hyundai Live. Hyundai Live, you need to sort of set up your phone for it to get the best out of it, but effectively it tells you what the traffic's going to be like, where have active charging stations, and also where's good for parking. Now that's not a feature I've tried for myself yet, so I couldn't say for sure as to whether or not it's much good. I'd imagine because it's Hyundai it is, but that's not something I've experienced myself though. You can also set up notifications through it as well. Again, this is a sort of...
What about that screen?
So this screen
That's the
here,
simple information, all what we need actually for driving here.
yeah, no problem at all. So effectively you'll have different menus to cycle through here. So on your trip you have things like your attention levels, your speed limit warnings, and then you just press this button here to cycle through different pages. So it'll have things like your you know, your accumulated info for your efficiency in running the car. Now 2.2, that's very inefficient, but that's only because it's done about 8.8 miles from, you know, factory testing. Again, that's your directions. So if you've got your sat nav destination set up, it will tell you your manoeuvres. It's also got this tyre pressure monitoring system here. And that's your lane keep assist, so you'll know that it's on when it's set like that. If you wanted to switch it off, for example, you hold down that button there. So it's got the sort of surround view cameras. So if I was to close that, it gives you a sort of above view monitor of the car. There's also different planes of view, so you can have it set so that you can see what it looks like from the rear, and also
Wow, both sides.
both sides of the camera. Most folks prefer to leave it on that though. You can also,
It's working like, yeah, it's like here.
so it's quite clever. And again, loads of different ways to set that. But it's quite a good quality camera, to be honest with you.